Todd, oh my word, you are a ghost. The rumors and stories about you are true.
Ah, so you have heard of me, but you've forgotten, or perhaps chose to forget, that I was one of the stars from the Fox and the Hound. I was said to become one of the best, but no, I wasn't. I was hoping one day I would be just as famous as you, but I wasn't as famous as you, Thomas the Tank Engine. Especially, I also secretly felt humiliated when you came for your rail tour in 1975.
I was too young to even know you. Besides, we never spoke, nor were friends. So, how can you say all that? All I know about you, Todd, is that you sometimes kept lonely, but you always smiled to everyone. But I guess you never were like that, on the inside, were you? You see, Todd, the last time I heard about you was that you were one of the stars from Fox and the Hound, and that was it. You became nothing more but a forgotten memory. But Todd, I also know that in the Fox and the Hound you lost your mother when you were a cub. I know what it's like because I am the last of my brothers and sisters of the E2 class. See, basically, they were all my brothers and sisters. I know what it's like to lose them. You see, I lost everything. The feelings of love that made me and my brothers and sisters a family. It was all destroyed. I've hidden all this away, but until now, with you doing all this haunting and terrifying the railways around York, and now at last seeing you in person, has brought all those memories back.
That's right, all the memories you wanted to forget. And yes, you are correct. I did lose my mother when I was a cub, so you and I are similar, or should I say, the same. You have to remember me. Let's suffer together. Suffer with me.
No!
What?
I won't suffer with you. Vixey told me and my friends all about your past. You killed yourself for nothing, all for nothing, and you wasted yourself. The truth of your demise, just that, or was the fact that you somehow grew tired of yourself and decided to end your life that way.
Shut up! Shut up! You don't know anything! You don't even know the real truth. That was not everything. That wasn't the end. Do you think you know what happened just because you heard about my haunted past, Thomas? You don't know my suffering. You know nothing about sorrow. You don't even know anything about the people who died with me in the pub. The terrifying pleading that came from my friends, telling me not to go and kill myself. The people who were in that pub with me. All the men, the women, and the children. They all died with me. The minutes of emotions I had boiling in beside me, and my own self forced that suffering into me. All the hate, pain, and sadness, and including all that suffering. Yet I have to continue to live with it. So yet, how can you say that you pretend to feel all those things I did? Understand me at all?
I can tell you're in pain, Todd, and I can see that you're in deep suffering. And I want to know the real reasoning of all this. What was it that made you go to such tragic lengths to make you do what you did? None of my brothers or sisters, or even any of your friends at Disneyland ever did this. Tell me, Todd, what was it that made you kill yourself? Tell me! Thomas, the truth of my demise will never be known by those who are told, for I took that with me, along with my victims. But all of them, except one, were unfortunate. Hold on, all but one? Todd, are you saying that you had an enemy who hated you? Yes, It's a long story. Well, then tell it to me. I like stories. Okay, I'll tell. You see, shortly after we finished filming The Fox and the Hound and The Fox and the Hound 2, me, Copper, and Vixey were able to live freely in Disneyland. Eventually, we grew tired of doing nothing for all our freedom. But then one day, I was told that all the Disney stars were giving jobs in Disneyland, like the humans would be. So I took a job myself. Even if I did a little work, I was still considering a big deal with what I was doing. When you came for your rail tour in 1975, you and I never met much, and barely spoke, due to your rivalry with Vixey. But you always whistled to me because you knew I was different to her. I see. So then, what happened there? Well, you see, Thomas, a man known as Mr. Strom had come from England to see us. But unfortunately, he thought I was a troublemaker due to me hurting my best friend Copper. But then he grew annoyed with my attitude and decided that he was going to erase me. At that moment, I was so angry, sad, upset, and enraged that I was so annoyed and I wanted to get rid of him myself. But I didn't know how. I even tried to drown myself to get myself out of my misery. But luckily, one of my friends, Big Mama, was able to calm me down and cheer me up. That I appreciated, but I was still angry with Mr. Strom, so secretly I started to plot my revenge. Then one night, I didn't know it until I passed, but Mr. Strom was in the bar having a drink. I had the idea of how to bump him off and get my revenge, but at the same time, I knew that it was going to cost me a heavy price. So, what did you do? I snuck into the war department of Disneyland and stole a very powerful bomb. I set a timer on it and stuck it to my back. I ran towards Disneyland's pub. I refused to listen to my friends' pleas to stop. And as soon as I entered the pub, the people in there began to panic. And as soon as I was in there and began approaching Mr. Strom, I gave in to my hatred and pain and shouted all my last words, cursing, and then the bomb blew up, taking me with it. And not just me, but every single soul in the pub was taken with me, including Mr. Strom, the man who would have made my life a living hell. So, that's it. That's the reason why all of this has happened ever since. You wanted revenge on Mr. Strom because he was going to remove you from Disneyland. In the end, you got your revenge, but it costed you your own life and all those people. I understand it. I understand the pain and rage you had to suffer from, Todd. But surely, deep down, you have to regret what you did in shame and remorse. Those other people didn't deserve to die, and neither did you, because you're a star of Disneyland. It's time you put all of this to an end and move on, Todd. It's not worth being in the state of evil that you've been in for all these decades. Think about it.
I won't rest, nor will I move on. Once I'm done with you, I will be sending you and your crew down into eternal damnation with me.
You're being controlled by that inner demon. Fight it off. Break free.
You cannot stop me. I will send you to hell. You can't prevent me from completing my quest. The end is upon you! What? But how? No. Curse you! Curse curse you, Thomas!